Hi everybody, welcome to Leaning Left. I'm David Rodriguez. I just watched the second Republican debate, and thankfully I did that for you. Believe me, if I did not do this channel, I probably wouldn't bother. I might catch highlights later, but I definitely wouldn't be watching it. It felt like a train wreck from the start, and then of course I had to listen to Republicans saying all their insane nonsense. I wish I could cover everything they talked about, because there's so much BS, but I'll probably just do a lot of those in separate videos. But I wanted to do my second award show for the Republican debates. I did one with the first one. Some people seem to really like that, so I figured I would do that again. After all, things have changed a little bit. There was no UFO questions this one. I was very disappointed. I was kind of hoping that they would aim one at Christie again, because his reaction was pretty priceless last time, but no such luck. But we did have some moments, I guess. So without further ado, let me get to the awards. The award for most anti-worker goes to Tim Scott. I mean, really, you could probably go to a lot of these people up there, but Tim Scott, really early on was complaining about how workers wanted to get paid more to work less, and he's very against that, and yada yada. He's also come out saying that everyone should just get fired for striking, etc. So, not really shocking that he's anti-worker, but yeah, you know what? They do want to get paid more to work less, because right now they're getting paid like nowhere near enough. I mean, I'm talking about workers in general, and being expected to work often insane hours. Really, it can be truly insane. I know, I'm in the same situation. So yeah, that's what the workers want, because it's reasonable. It's what a lot of other countries do, in fact. We work our people here harder than most other countries, and they're happier. So yeah, we want that. But way to go, Tim Scott, congratulations on being the most anti-worker candidate on stage. The award for growing a pair goes to Ron DeSantis. I don't know if you remember, but before the first debate, his strategy of what he was going to do in the debate actually leaked out, and he talked about how he was going to defend Donald Trump some certain number of times. This time he actually came out and called out Trump for not being on the debate stage. He actually went against Donald Trump for the first time, as far as I know. He actually went against the man that he admires so much. And that's, I don't know if it's great, because it doesn't really matter. Ron DeSantis is just as bad, if not worse. But at least he showed he was willing to separate himself from the man. So congratulations, Ron DeSantis, on the award for growing a pair. The award for not sticking the landing goes to Christie. Now, overall, I think Christie did really great, and in both of the debates, I've really looked forward to hearing what he had to say, because he, unlike Ron DeSantis, has been outspoken about Donald Trump from the beginning, oftentimes in actually pretty amusing ways. I don't like Christie at all, but I mean, I gotta respect him for that. And you know what? He actually did come out early in the event, talking about, again, kind of like DeSantis did, how Donald Trump should be there, and some of the failures of Donald. There's a lot of failures. There wasn't time, but some of the failures of Donald Trump. And at the end, here's where he missed the landing. He said, "We're not going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck." And he said it like he got this really good zinger on him. And what the hell does that mean? What? What? I just don't understand what he means. Is that hurtful? Is there anything Donald Duck that relates to how Trump is? I mean, I guess Donald Trump's known for throwing tantrums, so maybe, but that wasn't really a topic of what he was talking about. What? I don't understand his little jab there. It was a cute try, but it kind of messed up the whole earlier part of his speech for me. So that's it. Congratulations, Christie, on the award for not sticking the landing. The award for the worst idea of the night, believe me, almost everything that anybody said on that stage was in the running for this, but the winner, to me, this goes to Mike Pence. Mike Pence suggested that to curb the gun violence problem in America, what he would do is he would try to instate a expedited death penalty, so that if someone was involved in a shooting, they would get processed through to their death penalty much faster than usual. So for one, I'm not even sure that's possible legally. I just don't. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think so. There's all this whole appeals process. That's why people don't go to their deaths really quickly when they are given the death sentence. But that's not going to deter any of these people. Mike Pence, for the love of God. Most of these people know, if they don't think the first person to ever do one of these things, that they're going to end up in a shootout with the cops. Like, they know that. Half of them, probably more than half, kill themselves. Like, the ones that actually get arrested are few and far between. An expedited death penalty, that's not going to stop a single one of these madmen. Ever. Like, that's so crazy. You could argue whether or not the death penalty in general deters certain crimes, maybe, but it's not going to work on this one. Expedited or no, it is a non-solution. It's insanely stupid. There is only one answer to this, and that is common sense gun control. And that will help it. It won't erase it, but it'll help it. Everyone sane knows it. Most of the country agrees with that. The biggest admission of the night award. This is a kind of interesting one, because there's a lot of things that Republicans have just kind of lied about for a long time, or at least omitted certain things and hoped that you could yada yada away some stuff. And this particular one is a big one. So Christie said that he was pro-life person, but he believed pro-life had to be for someone's entire life, thereby admitting that most of these people who are pro-life don't give a damn about that kid once they're born. They don't. They'll cut all the fundings to help them. Anything that could possibly help a child born, they will remove any kind of help that they can. So he admitted that was a thing. I mean, it wasn't the whole point of what he was saying. He was talking about the fentanyl problem, and saying that, everyone was talking about stopping the fentanyl coming over, when they also should be talking about treatment, because the life of the addict or the person who gets poisoned by fentanyl is also important, which I appreciate that. I mean, my God, if you're going to be pro-life, at least take those kind of stances. Unfortunately, I have severe doubts that kind of line of thought carries through to like any of his other policies. Like, I don't think he is about, making sure that children are not starving and all that sort of thing. I don't think he cares about that, but he does want to get people who are drug users some treatment, which is good. I will give him that is good. I wish he didn't have to tie it to pro-life, but again, at least he admitted that. So, the award for biggest admission going to Christie. Congratulations. All right, the award for the biggest failure to control chaos goes to the moderators of this thing. Wow, there were like shouting matches from the start. They could barely ever rein these people in. Like, the amount that they went over, yelling over the top of each other, it was almost hard to follow what was happening sometimes. There was an especially interesting point, and this wasn't even one that I feel like they tried to, they let it go for like way longer than was reasonable. Nikki Haley and Tim Scott got in this shouting match, and they were arguing about the gas tax, and honestly, it was hard to make out what they were saying. All I could make out was like you did it, and I wasn't even there, you were. It sounded like teenagers fighting. It really did. It was, to me, whether or not one of them had a point, I don't know. I don't even know. It was so embarrassing for both of them, I thought, that this is what happened. And they just sat there and let them do it for like way longer than I thought they would. I didn't time it, but I would have stopped my kids from shouting at each other faster than these people did. It was insane. And that's just one example of how the night went. It was a disaster. It really was. All right. Not all these awards, if any of them actually, were in the first award show I did, but this one is a return. So the PAB award, the Pussy Ass Bitch Award, goes to, once again, Donald Trump for not even showing up to this thing. Good Lord. So it's pathetic. Like, I understand. I get it. Everyone's saying like, it probably benefits him to not come to this thing, but what a coward. What a coward, because he knows all these people are going to sit there and challenge him. Probably more than one of them are, especially at this point. He knows it, and he cannot stand up to that fire. He can't do it at all. You know what his tactic is for handling someone who is tough on him? It's sucking up. That's why he has such a good relationship with Putin and Kim Jong-un. He knows that these guys are challenging. A trained diplomat would have trouble with these guys. These are like, difficult people to deal with. And so instead of fighting, he fawns over them. And if he did that on stage, that would cost him big time. And he can't do it. He's pathetic. But here's what he did instead. You may have heard that Biden went and was on on the picket line with the UAW workers. Actually, and they asked him to come, by the way. But what Trump did, he also wanted to show he supported them, but they didn't want him there. And you know what he did? He went to a non-union plant to give his little speech, and the entire time he talked like he was talking to union workers. He's like, I support you union workers. There weren't union workers there. It wasn't a union plant. But if you watch the video, it looks like that's what he did. That's great. It looks great for the rest of the country, doesn't it? But anyone who's there or bothers to look this up or listens to people who actually report the actual news will know he wasn't at a union plant. He is not pro-union. He's one of the most anti-union presidents we've had in a long time, whereas Biden is one of the most pro-union presidents we've had in a long time. But either way, he didn't show up because he's scared. He's a scared, weak little man, and so he didn't show up. Anyway, so that's it. The PAB award, once again, goes to Donald Trump. Congratulations, you pussy-ass bitch. Okay, so here we get to the actual winner of this thing. Now, last time I did kind of like what I thought the Republican viewpoint would be and what I thought my viewpoint was of who won. Honestly, I think they might be aligned this time. Maybe. It's really hard to gauge Republicans because they're all over the place right now, politically. They just are. But the person who I think won this debate this time was Christie. Now, I know I kind of ragged on him a little bit before, but in general, he was really clear, really concise in everything he was talking about. He didn't seem to be BSing. I mean, I didn't agree with a lot of what he said. I thought he was wrong about some things he said, but I thought he was very straightforward. He didn't, talk around the questions. A lot of them didn't, almost all of them except for him, I think, had questions they just didn't answer. They'd go back and answer a previous question, and there wouldn't be time for them to answer the question that they were dodging. He didn't do that. I don't think he did that even once. He always answered the questions. He called out, in no uncertain terms, Donald Trump. He showed respect for the other people on stage, even though, again, he probably disagreed with a lot of them on some things. To me, he actually was up there showing leadership and showing that he understood how to talk to the American people. So, I don't like the guy. Do not misunderstand me. I think he's done some funny things that are entertaining to me. And, those policies are all probably pretty junky in my opinion. But if we're talking about who won this debate, I have to hand it to Christie. Congratulations, Christie. I'm so disappointed I get to hear you talk about UFOs this time. I really liked it last time. I really wanted to hear more, but that's okay. Maybe next time we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's it. What did you think of these awards? Do you agree with them? Do you have any that you'd like to hand out to these people? And who did you think won this debate? Because I could see there being a lot of differing opinions here. The one that I mean, a lot of them didn't do great. Vivek last time I thought was really like a spitfire. And I feel like this time he tried, but I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like his heart wasn't in it or something. It just didn't hit the same. It didn't really work. And Nikki Haley, she won the debate, I felt, last time. And this time she did okay too, but less of a commanding presence, a little bit more reactionary. It didn't quite work out as well for her, I don't think. But let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. Now, this is the part where I always tell you to like and subscribe and all this other stuff, and I still want you to do that. Please do. Right now, we're getting towards the point where we're going to start really, pretty soon, it's going to feel like it goes by in a snap. We're going to start really gearing up towards the actual election. And if you watch political things on YouTube, you get a lot of recommendations. So right now, I do, of course, want you to subscribe and watch and like and comment on me. I very much want that. I hope that you will. I hope you can help me make this channel grow into something big. Whether or not it's one of the biggest out there, I don't think that's necessarily likely, but just make it grow. But don't just do it for me. Find other left-leaning political YouTube channels, whether they're big or small, whatever they are, and help them out as well, because I think if enough of us do that, it may affect the algorithm in such a way that more people are seeing these kind of videos, like on this side of things, pop up. And we need to get those undecided voters to come out and join Team Blue. It has to happen because our very democracy hangs in the balance. So yes, I want it for me, but even if it's not me, if you can't stand me, but you're still a blue voter, okay, fine, that's cool. Go ahead and find some other people and make sure you're helping them out, because we need to win this. And if that helps in even the tiniest way, I think that's what we need to do. So please go out and do that. But in the meantime, stay woke, stay vigilant, keep fighting. And remember, if you keep leaning left, you'll always be right.